Recording mode on. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you all today in our last session on the understanding novel nicotine delivery products and their risks, an issue that has become increasingly important in public health. As e-cigarette use continues to rise, particularly among young people, we face significant challenges in understanding its long-term effects and potential risks to both individuals and communities. Today, we are fortunate to have an expert that will help shed light on this topic. Our discussion will cover the health implications of vaping, including concerns around addiction, lung damage, and cardiovascular risks. We will also explore the regulatory landscape and what measures can be taken to reduce the health burden associated with e-cigarette use. I hope you find this session insightful and that together we can take steps towards ensuring that the safety and well-being of our communities. Your participation is vital as we work together to understand the risk of e-cigarette and find solution to protect public health. I look forward. This session will be an engaging session and an insightful conversation will be held between the participants and the experts. Thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Shekhar.
All right, thank you, Anshika. Well, I sincerely welcome all of the participants again. Today is the last session of this e-cigarette information and question and answer course, and that we have we have covered a long journey on the regulatory landscape, the health impact, all those things. So, today's session, we are focusing upon not just e-cigarettes, we are also focusing upon what are the other nicotine delivery devices which are either available or upcoming or probably in the tobacco industry's future forecasts. That could be a problem in India, just like the e-cigarette was. So, to discuss that, we have an expert with us. We welcome Dr. Dilip Acharya, sir, and we are honored to have him on board. Sir is an expert in tobacco control, and he's a general surgeon with special interest in breast and head and neck surgery. He's also an activist working in the field of cancer prevention, early detection, and tobacco control since many decades. Sir has been the national chairman of IMA Cancer Prevention and Tobacco Control Committee. Sir has been the honorary professor at IMA Academy of Medical Specialties. He has received many awards. Some of them include the Dr. C.T. Thakur National Award for Outstanding Community Service, the ASI National Social Service Award, IMA Madhya Pradesh Lifetime Achievement Award, and many more. Sir has been the ex-president of Indore and Madhya Pradesh State of both Indian Medical Association and the Association of Surgeons of India. He has done his presentations in many national and international conferences at several countries: Japan, China, Malaysia, Canada, Abu Dhabi, Ireland, Dubai, etc., focusing only on prevention and early detection of breast and oral cancer, tobacco control, and many important scientific subjects. So, with this enriched experience and background, we are honored to have him on board here. And as I said earlier, that we have had a good amount of discussion on e-cigarettes, and now we are taking up a step further, and we are kind of discussing something extra, which could be related to e-cigarettes and which could be related to, which could have a significant public health impact in our country. So I welcome Dr. Dilip, sir, to this platform.
Thank you very much.
Hello, sir. Sir, I would request you to give some opening remarks about what e-cigarettes, the burden of e-cigarettes and the burden of any other future projects that are coming up in the country. Any opening remarks, sir?
Yeah. At the outset, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to you and the Chip Foundation and the ECO for organizing this important event also. I've been working against e-cigarette for quite some time. I think it was in 2015 that World Conference Tobacco and Health was held at Abu Dhabi. There also had a presentation against e-cigarette that was posted there. Then 2018, the World Cancer Congress in Malaysia. Again, I spoke about against e-cigarettes. So we had been working about against e-cigarettes for quite some time. And when the law of the government, Indian government came over in 2019, the as a the Act of 2019 against e-cigarettes. It was told that 1,000 doctors wrote to sent an email to the Government of India Ministry of Health, and out of that, almost 100 from Indore only. So we have been working against. But the point comes is why we are against e-cigarettes. Because the point is, e-cigarette has been taking over the world in a big way. You know, when Jewel was once e-cigarette, which was which is very common still in America. And when it was introduced, because it has number of flavors in it. Along with it, it has a different shapes and different sizes. It looks like a pen drive out of things, pods and everything. So the it become doubled. Even I was told that sometime back in Delhi only, the school bags of some children were checked up, and there were a lot of e-cigarettes found in the school bags also, the school-going children. So that is the impact we are having of the prevalence or use of e-cigarettes. So that's the main reason we have to work on it. Although of India has enacted the Act in 19 only, but you and me, we all know it. How much is in force it is being used up. Although in Indore, in last 10 days only, we had 2 raids and confiscated a lot of this thing. So the e-cigarette use is increasing a lot. And what unfortunately happened was there was a paper in 2015 in UK. There was a single paper which said that it is a good thing, beneficial for harm reduction. Although there were not many things, there were 12 authors. There was no double-blind study or something. And that's just based on that one paper, the government of UK started propagated that it can be used up for quitting as a quitting method for this thing. Although WHO and our in India is already banned, but WHO has also not agreed to it because that it is a quitting method, the use of the e-cigarettes. But rather it may become a starting point for people like the students to start using normal cigarettes also. That e-cigarettes, the use is increasing, as you were asking, right? Unfortunately, in India also, it is available online also. And the number of places we are able to buy it off the shops also. So that way, the rule is there, but
So are you there? Your voice is not coming. You're not audible, sir. I think there is. Okay. So you muted, sir.
well, it was at least right. So that is the reason we all want that e-cigarette ban should continue. Rather, it should be fully implemented. Then only it can be of much use to us. Right.
Thank you, sir. Indeed, you have told us the journey of how e-cigarettes have been taken up by the world, and how India has taken a stringent step towards curbing this menace. That's that's uh, that's indeed a very commendable effort by the government of India. Sir, I want to talk about nicotine delivery devices besides e-cigarettes. Not talking about the conventional smoking and smokeless forms, not talking about gums and patches, but any other product that is, that could be a threat to Indian population besides e-cigarettes, sir.
Yeah. Well, there are two main things which are product which has been coming up in the market. One is IQOS, IQOS. That stands for I
Awesome.
quit ordinary smoking. No, that is just because the difference between the e-cigarette and these products is for e-cigarette it is a vapor, and for normal cigarette is combustion. But while they say IQOS is a heating product, heat not burn they can say it. And that's the other reason nicotine pouches. Way back when in 2005 when I was in US for some testing, these pouches were available that time also, and they were giving it free of cost with the cigarettes. So the companies have been trying to promote these things for a long time. But IQOS has also been banned by the government of India as per this Act of 2019. But unfortunately, what happens is people still gather, they think that it is not harmful. Basically, what IQOS is, say, like in a e-cigarette, we have a vapor device and a battery. Here also, there is a charger sort of a thing which charges the tobacco thing, which is in a form of a heat or a sticks, and that gets heated up. So it is because when we do a normal cigarette, it gets heated up. The combustion is there. It goes to 600 to 900 some degrees of centigrade, while this heating is about 350 degrees only. So that way they said it is comparatively safer. But well, it may be a comparatively safer from that point of view. But from other this thing, nicotine dependence and everything, they all contain nicotine. And as you must have well discussed it before also, nicotine is the substance in tobacco which is habit forming. As we all know, it reaches the brain in few seconds only and give a feeling of dopamine release and all those things. So IQOS and the nicotine pouches does the same thing. The harmful effects are there, as we all know. But although Japan is using a lot of IQOS and the European countries are also using a lot of IQOS is there, nicotine patches are coming up now. And what they do is, it looks like something like as I'd seen one, like the tea bags which we have, the dip tea bags. Just make a small one of them, just without a string and everything. And they normally people also you do is you keep it in between the lip and the gum, and they just park it there at one particular place only, and that was nicotine keeps on absorbing. So that is the thing people are shifting also. And nicotine patches as such is not banned in our this act, is not covered up in this act. Yeah.
Sir, you mentioned about IQOS. IQOS. I'm sorry, what was the full form, sir?
I quit ordinary smoking.
So I quit ordinary smoking. They
Yeah.
have actually taken up this as a short form and have marketed this as a product.
Right.
Okay.
There's one more product like this is from the PMI, the Philip Morris International. IQOS is there from there. And another product from, I think I'm just missing the name, from UK also, they have almost similar product also. But what has happened with like the e-cigarette, it has known the battery has to known to burst. Here also the charger is there, which heats up the heat or the heat sticks what you have it, and that contains tobacco, that contains nicotine. So that the thing is the same thing there. Yeah.
Okay. But sir, in IQOS, what is being heated? Is it tobacco?
Yes.
Okay. So tobacco is there in
Tobacco.
IQOS,
Hmm.
and then it is heated by a battery, right?
Right.
It basically becomes a tobacco product. So
Right.
obviously, it will be covered under the COTPA law.
Yeah,
COTPA.
this is covered there. But because but they have a special law for this only. We already
Okay.
have a special law for this that covers both the things. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And the second thing that you said was nicotine pouches. You just said that
Right.
like a tea bag, they're kept in the mouth in the vestibule, and they slowly release nicotine. So
Right.
they contain like kind of
I mean,
like
they don't have tobacco. They are only snooze. This nicotine only.
there's only
Yeah.
nicotine,
But
probably.
by the snooze is there, the snooze contains tobacco, and then the nicotine pouches contain pure nicotine only. Yeah.
Okay. So this nicotine pouch, sir, what exactly for how long exactly it releases nicotine and what exactly is the concentration? I'm just inquiring about if there is a possibility of nicotine pouches being used as a in a medicinal value.
But like you said, like we have patches and the nicotine gums also.
Mhm.
But the problem is, the nicotine, they come in different this thing. Zine is the one which is commonly used in America. There are about 5, 7 of them. So they come in different, starting from 1.5 or 2 milligram per pouch, going up to the one more is coming on plus. One was on when on. Now it has come with ON plus, which goes up to 12 milligram per pouch. So that is really very high level of this thing. While when for our nicotine gums, we have just 2 milligram and 4 milligram chewing gums or nicotine chewing gum for that thing, because that is for the medicinal use we want to try. Even pouches, what we
Patches.
have is the
Patches.
patches. But they in 17, 14, and 21 milligram, that's a slow absorption continuing the 24 hours like that. But here, because the absorption from the skin is very slow compared to what absorption is from the because membrane in the mouth is there.
Okay, sir.
So the absorption can be very high here also. So the moment people use it up, as I said earlier also, nicotine reaches the brain in few seconds, and the people it releases dopamine because nicotine There was a big cycle there, and ultimately it leads to the release of dopamine. So once the dopamine is released, person has a feeling of the satiety and wellness being like that. So that's the way it is acts a lot through nicotine acts also. Yeah.
Okay. Again, the same story has occurred, and the tobacco industry has, misused the concentration of nicotine pouch, of any nicotine delivery products, and increasing it to a large extent so that the person remains hooked to nicotine, and not so it effectively it rules out using nicotine pouches as a medicine, as a tobacco cessation tool.
Right.
It rules out. Okay, all right, sir. So, I'm not sure if that this is very early to say, but do we have any documented health effects of this IQOS and nicotine pouches?
We have a lot of documentary evidence against nicotine. And nicotine, as we know, creates a lot of problems. One is simple thing, irritation in the mouth because you take it of a, and which is parked in between the vestibules. It can cause chronic irritation, gum irritations, and lot. There are small little things. But the moment is people take it, the pulse rate increases, the heart rate increases, and it has a bad effect on circulatory system. Then, because the adolescent is the age people are using more and more of these things, so it affects their brain also, and mental disorders are being coming up because of this. Secondly, nicotine in high concentrations also affects the sleep. And sleeplessness, we all know, creates a lot of other problems also. It may ultimately lead to depression also, and irritability in the person using it up also. So these are one of few things which are very important. And because the adolescents is the age people are using, and they are marketing it, gimmick is that to go to reach the adolescent people only, population only, to try this up. So they are flavoring these both the things with different flavors. Like e-cigarettes also, they have different flavors added to these nicotine pouches. They also, IQOS different sticks also. So that way, the youngsters get hooked up onto this earlier also, and they keep on trying newer and newer flavors. And that because of that, the problem increases and the use keeps on increasing. Yeah.
So this IQOS that you were mentioning that heats tobacco but doesn't burns it, does it produces the same kind of smoke? So
Uh,
we continue.
no, it is not the smoke same like a cigarette, because not combustion is not there. It is heated up only, but it has liquor also, sort of vapor, which gives a feeling of that you are smoking. But nicotine is the main thing, which is the culprit and which is makes people hooked up onto these things.
Mhm. Okay. So, sir, how deepened has these products reached India? Is there a good number of buyers as of now? Are these still just underexplored or something like that? The IQOS and nicotine
So
pouches.
these are comparatively lesser used, e-cigarettes, because not many people know about it. One, and the need also very high of the IQOS. Nicotine patches, in India, we have a lot of smokeless tobacco use because in the form of gutka, and the availability is so rampant there. So the nicotine pouch not very commonly being used at present. It will be increasing.
So I'm sorry, your voice was middling in between. So can you please repeat your answer?
Well, as I said, the the use is increasing gradually. IQOS is a costly product because yes, it's like buying a charger for your phone, where is so it is slightly costlier than the what your e-cigarettes also. So it is not as much of being used as a e-cigarette. And nicotine pouches, because we in India we have a lot of use of smokeless tobacco or gutka, what we call it. So and because that is so easily available, 1 rupee, 2 rupees at the corner shop. So the nicotine patches are not taken up in a big way that way. But I'm sure in some times to come, because the thing which is not banned comes up also, the banned things are also available. So the unbanned thing will definitely be easily available. Yeah.
So you feel that nicotine pouch can have a bigger impact in the Indian population
Yes.
because they can be sold loose, they can be sold in a single unit or something like that. So
Right.
So maybe
Even apart from pouches, people have some strips also coming up. The
okay.
nicotine strips,
And what
like
else?
your mouth freshener strips like that.
Oh,
So
okay, okay. The mint and those strips. Okay, copy of that. Okay.
yeah, not so, but the product, the tobacco companies are smart enough. They keep on working on it on newer ideas to attract youth and other
College
people.
days, we used to see some mint strips. They were being marketed as after smoke strips. So you
Yeah.
smoke, and then
So
the
now
next you strip,
in place of smoke, they are coming up with that also.
yeah,
Yeah.
you keep a strip in your mouth, and your the foul odor will be gone. And now they're coming
The
up with
nicotine absorption is there. It because they are nicotine strips. Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Now they're coming up with
Even
nicotine.
spray is coming up. Nicotine spray also is coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm. Oral spray. Hmm.
Okay, just like a mouth freshener.
Yeah. Yeah.
The tobacco industry really puts its mind into evolving such products.
Yeah, just diverting slightly, 2009, I was in this thing, Baltimore, John Hopkins Institute. They have a course of the tobacco making leadership course in tobacco control. I was there for 15 days, and they had taken it once to New York also. And we had gone to Mr. Bloomberg's office. He was the
Okay.
mayor of Bloomberg, and he is a philanthropist who has been doing a lot of work for tobacco control.
So your voice is breaking
Made
in.
smoking. Uh, Better now?
Yeah, sir, maybe it's an internet issue. It's okay if you can, shut down the video. That way, the internet glitch would not be a problem.
Okay, I think there was a phone coming up which was disturbing you. Let's see, better now? Or I'll open the one side. Wait, give me a second, just still.
It's good now, sir.
I'll close down the video also if you don't mind. Yeah. So what he said was, we are the tobacco industry employs so many top brains of the world because they are able to afford them up. While people working against tobacco, they have to be very this thing because the money is very far less than with them. So that also thing is but when the law comes up, they come out with the fallacies in the law much before earlier also. So tobacco industry, we have to fight against a big industry, which is for them it is a bread and butter. So they are working against this thing because tobacco is one industry where it kills its own users. So they have to keep on working for getting a new user. Therefore, they keep on working with the newer generation peoples, and so they're hooking up the young generations, the school and colleges, right?
So since the tobacco industry is coming up with so many innovations, and as Dr. Sriram said, crazy innovations, uh, you were mentioning about strips, you were mentioning about sprays, you're mentioning about lot many things. IQOS, they were actually talking about I quit ordinary smoking, making a person feel that they are not into anything harmful, they are into something healthy. So
Right.
since they're coming up with so many innovations, why can't India propose a blanket ban so that all such crazy innovations get covered in one single blanket ban, and only the ones which the government gives permission to, they can be marketed or they can be sold? Is this something that we have in mind, the stakeholders have in mind to propose it to the government of India?
Well, presently we are more focusing on the implementation of the e-cigarette Prohibition Act
But sir,
because that covers e-cigarette also and that covers IQOS also, no? IQOS is also well
implementation is
covered there.
always an issue, sir. Implementation enforcement is something which is a separate kind of story. That
But
always remains an issue.
like the tobacco, this thing, sale of tobacco.
Hmm.
Because few years back we that worked with everybody like an NGO, IMA also we worked on it that a combination of gutka and tobacco cannot be sold. So what they did was they started hanging tobacco pouches separately and the gutka pouch separately. Instead of they giving it a mixed one, they asked you to mix it up for them. And when the 2019 the law came up about the e-cigarette ban, this nicotine pouches had not come in a big way. IQOS had started coming out. It had not entered India that time, but I had seen, 2015 or 16, I was in Dubai sometime. There was a big, at the airport only, there was a big shop listing or maybe promoting IQOS in Dubai.
Okay.
So as the new things come up, definitely we'll all be, as the NGOs, you, me, and everybody will be writing to government for banning all these things. But presently we are the thing, whatever is banned, at least like IQOS is banned in our country, e-cigarette is banned in our country. But as a substitute, last week, I think 10 days only, we have two raids in Indore only, in my city. But a lot many, about 4-5 lakh rupees of things were confiscated by the police. And now with the JJ Act also there, Juvenile Justice Act of 2015, any sale of tobacco to these and to and buy this thing can lead up to a fine of even 1 lakh rupees or a year in jail. So but although I think as almost 10 years, I've not heard of any one or two more cases being fined against that in JJ Act. Because we have to protect our youth, our adolescent age group people, the school going also, from getting on to hooked up onto this. Because you and me, everybody sitting knows it very well. It is easy to start, but difficult to quit tobacco in any form because of the nicotine there. Yeah.
So, as you said that, implementation is something we really need to focus upon. So, if we focus on implementation, and by the time new products coming, sprang up, and will they become? Obviously, they'll become substitutes to e-cigarettes. They'll become substitutes to smokeless tobacco. They'll have their own again open market. So, are these pouches and IQOS on the verge of becoming substitutes for products that are banned or that are being
No,
regulated?
IQOS is already banned. In the
Okay,
it is covered in our Prohibition of E-Cigarettes Act 2019. It is all IQOS is already covered up there. As I personally, as I look at it, I don't have it look like the nicotine pouches will big way presently because of the easy availability and very cheaper tobacco, gutkhas, and all those things available.
Mhm.
Ah, but basically the government is acting like they are acting with when the things come up. I think we'll also write to the government, all the NGOs, and we keep on writing to the government for these things. And that may, I think, definitely government take a step because banning e-cigarette was a really big step for the government of India.
Mhm.
So implementation is up one place, but at least when your law is in position, then only we can act on it. As you rightly said, before the nicotine becomes much more rampant, we should work on it because all the novel these things should not be allowed to enter the country like that. Right, you are.
Of course. And then there's another story of the herbal products, herbal tobacco, herbal cigarettes, herbal BDs, herbal hookahs. That is another significant, market that is being coming up, and it is again they claim themselves to be tobacco free, sometimes nicotine free as well, and they are completely healthy. And then many, even some of them are pitching at Shark Tank as well that we are a very good alternative to traditional smoking. So, what is your say about that, sir?
But as far as I think, herbal is a way of making things. That's all. The herbal tobacco has tobacco. It has nicotine, and anything which has nicotine or tobacco with it cannot be healthy. It is the way of manufacturing may be different, doesn't matter. But the end product is tobacco, and tobacco is bad for health in any form, anyway. Yeah. So it has to be just to be taken with a pinch of salt, and the government should act on it. See, and because if I'm not mistaken, the hookah bars, they have been banned in Maharashtra also, in Madhya Pradesh also. And when we started working on it, they all said, "Oh, our hookah doesn't contain any tobacco.
Hmm.
It has only molasses. It has no tobacco." When
Yes.
it was studied, even the packet also contains showed that it has tobacco. Leave aside this thing, but all the users were claiming that no tobacco is there. And once it was investigated properly, that a study was done, tobacco was there. So all these products they have tobacco as the end result. The how do you make it up is a different story. But if any tobacco and any nicotine should be banned, that's the main thing is there. And the government should see that the analysis of their products are done in a proper way, and then action taken against them.
Sir, I would like to request you to tell your experience whenever there's a raid, you help out in, and you encounter, you face those people, and talk to them and talk to the culprits, and confiscate products. What really happens if e-cigarettes or if banned products are taken into example? Can you tell us a story on what exactly happens while
No, actually, frankly speaking, I have not been a part of the raid as such.
Okay.
But we have been taking classes or the lectures, giving lectures to the advocates also, to the judiciary, we have to also, then to the policemen also, and to the person who law-abiding people also who have to work on it. So once they know all the rules and regulations, then they go in the field and go. Even excise department, we had gone and tell them, excise department also people, there, because I mean, if you sometime in the Indian market, Indore market, sometimes they get a cigarette known as black. It doesn't have, the name is a black cigarette. It doesn't have anything on it. No pictorial warnings, no signs of anything. So, once we tell the excise department that these are the things coming on the market, they go in the police, we will tell them, police people, they go and work on it. So basically, health is a nodal agency for this laws. But ultimately, you and me understand that if any of us, even as a doctor, when we go and stand on the corner roadside and ask anybody, nobody is going to help us. But it's the police only who can implement the law with us. So when they, and SDM and ADM also, even fining for 200 rupees with the government has for a normal cigarette. So it has to be someone in the khaki, which helps up with this thing, getting the police people. So people are afraid with them only. Yeah.
Okay. So we have a few questions from the audience as well.
Yes.
Dr. Sriram has said, if we use pouches of 2 milligram, will that be equivalent to a gum, and probably it can be used as a NRT as well? He's talking about nicotine pouches, not patches. So,
Government milligram, maybe almost maybe almost that same. They have not been studied from that point of view. But if I go and ask for a gum, I'll get other 2 milligram, 4 milligram, that's all. But when these things become available, the pouches can range from 1.52 milligram to 12 milligram also. So them to be used up for medicinal use as of day to day. Yeah.
okay. And he has also asked, what is the difference between Hans and Zine? What is Hans, Dr. Sriram? Hans.
Hans is yeah, it's a kind of gutka kind of. I am not much aware of it, but I have seen people chewing that. Because sir told that Zion is that thing, that pouch that we keep between the lip and stick.
ZYN. Yeah, that
Same
is
way.
ZYN9. Yeah, that is Zine is also Zine is the American this thing. That is a nicotine pouch, different concentrations. Similarly, as I was talking about on, that is also an American different pouch, and now they have come out with on plus also, which goes up to 12 milligram. So these are nicotine pouches only basically.
So basically, sir, I was asking about that one product that you get in the Indian market that is called Hans. I mean, that is, I think, chewable tobacco or something. I don't know what exactly, because that also comes like a pouch. Whether that is similar to this or it's very different. I don't know.
Frankly speaking, sorry, I don't have any idea about that particular product. What is happening is that the gutka people, what they are doing is, it has almost become a home industry sort of thing. They get a small machine and start making gutka at their own place. And so when their marketing is also limited to the smaller areas only. So maybe a thing which is available in your city, your state, may not be available in my area. So that could be the reason I have no knowledge about this product what you're talking about. But maybe because the nicotine pouches are not taken up in a big way in our country, but the gutka is definitely in the tobacco, this thing. So maybe it's one of them only. Yeah.
Okay. So, yes, another question. What is the difference in harm potential of tobacco versus nicotine? So, harm potential.
Looking at the harm production, I would say that these nicotine products are being marketed for when they started, they coming up in the market. They were for harm reduction. They came with harm reduction only. So that means that definitely they have a lesser harm than compared to tobacco. In the sense that combustible tobacco, which, as I discussed, there are 7,000 chemicals and 70 carcinogens. And even UK government came out with 95% reduction of harm with if you are using e-cigarette. But when I just told you that alone paper on which basis the UK government came out with this idea of harm reduction of 95%. The myth was busted that it is just 12 people who have this thing, no double cross blind studies, anything. So definitely there are a few combustible and non-combustible, some difference would be there. But as I said earlier also, nicotine in any form, tobacco in any form, any quantity is harmful. Smoking even one cigarette a day is harmful. So it is just that it's a harm reduction is there, but it is, in Hindi what we said, asman se tapke khajur pe atke sort of a thing. We are halfway through only. So better say no to it and never start it up. That's the fun thing I would say. Yeah.
Okay, sir. And there's another important component I would like to discuss here. So there are many tobacco cessation tools that are coming up in the market, and some of them claim to be herbal, some of them claim to be non-nicotinic. Uh, you must have heard the names Smotec, Smoke Tech. All these are there. They kind of form. They're like kind of some granules present in them that help quit smoking. So, should these alternatives be tried by our younger generation? Should we, actually go for any of such innovations or not? Because a lot of them, and I have personally researched them, a lot of them don't have a credible evidence. Maybe one or two studies, maybe a pilot testing or something like that that is there. But should we go with such products or not? Because they are being heavily marketed.
It is a marketing gimmick, I would say.
Mhm.
Because, anything which has not been approved by the government should, and anything which is not, with the multiple studies have not shown that the utility or this thing, credibility of the product should not be propagated by us at least. The people may, everybody comes out that come out with a home remedy for that. You mix up soft and you mix up these two, three, and then you'll be able to quit. That's not a product like this. So recently, what has happened is the NMC, National Medical Commission, has ordered all the medical colleges in the country, about 600, 703 medical colleges, to start a TCC, Tobacco Cessation Center. And for the Tobacco Cessation Center, what we there permitted is only gums and patches, and then other bupropion, other drugs like that. But no herbal products like this, which don't have any authenticity as such. Any one or two papers sponsored by directly, indirectly sponsored by us in any way. We refrain from supporting on anybody, any of them. Ultimately, double-blind multiple studies have shown that they are of any use to us.
So your voice is breaking in between.
Better now?
Yes, yes. It goes on for a while and then comes back.
Yeah, the internet, air fiber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. So any further questions from the participants? We have had a good deal of discussion. Any further questions from any of the participants?
From over, I just wanted to know, because you said the last day of this thing here, what are the topics that have been well nicely covered in this session? Because unfortunately, I couldn't attend earlier sessions. Yeah.
So I'll be sure to include you in every upcoming tobacco related session. I'll just give you a brief overview of what we have covered so far. First session we had we had the honor to welcome Dr. P.C. Gupta sir on our platform. And we had a panel discussion with him, Professor Ravi Malhotra sir, and Dr. Sonu Goyal sir. And we just talked about what exactly e-cigarettes are.
Okay.
What are they? What are the components? What are the what are the functioning mechanism? How do they go into and how do they deliver nicotine? We just had a discussion on that. Then on this in the second session we talked about the health impact of e-cigarettes, and Dr. Rakesh Gupta sir from Cypher, he was here with us. And we talked about the health impact, the long-term health impact, short-term health impact, what are the studies available, and all those things. Then we talked about the burden. How many? What is the exact number of youth that is taking it up? The global burden, the Indian burden. We had a good discussion with the. There's a faculty in Indore itself, Sri Aurobindo Medical College, Dr. Chetna Deshmukh.
Mhm.
So she was here with us, and she has been a part of many sessions previously as well with Chip Foundation. Then we talked about fourth session was the regulation, the PICA Act, how it came, what was the journey, what exactly is the process of banning any product. So Mr. Ranjit Singh, you must be knowing him.
Yeah, I know them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So all
I'm a
the
lawyer.
he's a very well-known person in the tobacco fraternity, and he was here, and he showed us the real picture of how regulations are being framed and how they are implemented and what exactly happens on the ground. So that was the fourth session. In the fifth session, which happened last Wednesday, we talked about how industry uses this harm reduction
Yeah.
quote in every product that they give, and what are the implications of this harm reduction? What are the implications of putting up multiple flavors? Making the product very appealing and all those things. We talked about that. And Dr. Ravi Kaushik, he's a faculty in Maulana Medical College, Department of Physiology. He was there. And today is the last session. Then when we're talking about what is there beyond e-cigarettes, and you have beautifully explained about newer products coming up, the what do you call it? The IQOS and those mint
Pouches and all those things.
pouches, mint, and that sprays and all those things. So
But I must say, congratulate you that you have covered the topic in a very nicely in a very elaborate manner.
So we had this
Yes.
novel kind of a discussion. This session was novel in a way that we did not involve any PowerPoint presentations in that. We're just
Mhm.
sitting and talking. We're just taking up every thought that comes into the mind, and trying to know what your experience is, trying to know what the expert feels about it. So PPT becomes a very monotony, and becomes a
Right.
very
Mhm.
lecture kind of like class chal rahi hai types. So so
Well, I must say that, few years back when Dr. Ravi was Malhotra was the director with the NIPC, we had a 2 day the same full day program on Areca nut only.
yes.
Next time when you have, let's say, one of the times, you can have in the,
Yes,
because
we
you
have this in mind.
of,
Rightly said,
yeah,
you have this in mind, and we'll be happy if you join us in that as well, sir.
for sure, it's my pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Because sir was there, then we had this thing, 2 days, full days, only on Areca nut as a cancer thing, pre-cancer.
Of course.
Because that is also very rampant in our country.
Exactly, exactly.
Use of areca nut, and people don't think it to be a bad thing like
People
that.
don't even conceive it to be harmful.
Yes, that's the main thing is there.
इससे क्या प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है? This is fine. We have been using it. पूजा में चलता है, रस्मों में रिवाज में चलता है. It's a very common thing. How
Ah.
can this be harmful? So yes, you have rightly pointed out. We can take it up in the next topic as the next topic as well.
Mhm.
Thank you for that. And yes, if we have any burning questions or queries, we have Dr. Acharya here with us for a few more minutes. Yes. So one more question, sir. Sir, what are the public health messaging strategies? We really need to counteract this misleading narratives. So what can we give the public as a message?
One first and foremost thing is we have to tell the public the health hazards of tobacco, the health hazards of nicotine.
Mhm.
Because sometimes people will say like hookah, the myth was because the smoke is coming through the water.
Mm.
So all the things, bad things
Purified.
have been absorbed there. And what we are the thing. So that we will to break that myth, we took a long time. To begin before that coming on a step before I also like Ireland was one of the first countries to ban public smoking, and especially in the pub. Dublin is a city of pubs. So they were used to think that if they ban smoking inside the pubs, the thing will go away. The pubs will become vacant. Nobody will come to the pub because the cigarette is banned there. Once I was in Dublin, but when it was banned up, they came with this thing that if the people cannot smoke in this thing pubs inside, you have to go out and smoke. So when you're walking the streets of the Dublin city, you can make out there's a pub inside because there's so much of butts lying there outside. So that there was a myth there. But when it was banned up, people came to know that the health of the everybody had become better now also. Similarly, hookah, uh, the WHO has shown that almost one session of hookah lasting for half an hour is like smoking 150 to 100 cigarettes. So this we have to we have to go to the public for these things which have been commonly used up also. For upcoming things also, that it has been told now that almost 50% of the people, or rather 70% start before the age of 17, 18. So for the public health, we have to go to the schools and colleges, tell them about the health hazards of all these things. Breaking the myths, we should ask the government to go because testing of all this products, what you discussed was herbal product for and it's a better for quitting and all those things. Because none of the government agencies promotes them. It is they come out with their own ideas and few more, one or two papers like that only. So the government should get it investigated. Lab testing of all the products should be done. And then only they should be allowed to be marketed. Based on, because that's for public, and public has to be told now in the clear words by us in different platforms, because now social media is very strong, this thing. Any few, Dr. Grover comes out with a few lines of statement on the social media, people like it, it flares up, and by night it goes to each and every phone in this thing. So we should make use of more and more of social media also to debust their false claims. And it's not that we are against all these things. It's just that we want a solid proof of their utility or of the claim they being correct. That's all. And tomorrow, if they come out to be a correct everything, we'll be there. We'll be definitely able to use it. Anything which is good for the public, we are there for that. But and before that, we should not be allowed to start marketing on a false claims. That's the only thing is there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. This is a beautiful summary of what have been discussed in all these sessions. Everything should be taken up, tested, verified, and only then it should be allowed. Not just use anything or any line as a marketing gimmick, because the news spreads very fast in this social media era, and flares up to the level that no one can comprehend.
Very correct.
Yes, sir. Thank you for these kind words. Okay, do we have any further questions or queries to be asked by Dr. Acharya? Anyone? We have a senior cancer control enthusiast with us. Dr. Aruna is here. Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon. She's representing Indian Cancer Society. Ma'am, you're muted, ma'am.
Not really. I'm except thanking Dr. Acharya for giving us some insightful thoughts about the new nicotine systems. The only thing is we are concerned that I wonder if these pouches and all, they are being sold on the prescription or they are over the counter available.
Sir said that they will eventually be over the counter, ultimately, not as of now, but they'll be sold. They'll probably be later on sold as a 1 unit or 2 unit, ₹1, ₹2 ka. That will come up. That is the fear that everybody has right now.
Well, madam, as you know, in cigarettes also, we have been protesting after the government, then they should not be allowed to be sold as a single cigarette. It should be a packet of cigarette only, because that will put some. But I have seen one of the companies has started coming out with a single cigarette packing also. Surprisingly, single cigarette packing also.
They all find ways and means how.
They are much more smarter than us that way, but still, we are working on it. Yeah. Thank you very much for joining session.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Aruna ma'am, for your wonderful comment. Thank you, Dr. Sriram, for your enthusiastic participation. Thank you, dear participants, for being with us in this journey. And a big thanks to Dr. Dilip Acharya, sir, for taking out time and talking to us about this important topic. And hopefully, in coming future, we'll be expecting many more important laws and acts that will probably cover these crazy innovations and these crazy ideas that the tobacco industry always comes up with. And yes, as rightly suggested by Acharya sir, we should come up with more topics for discussions. Probably Areca nut can be one of them. In the coming days, we'll be happy to discuss within ourselves and from you as well, and we can have your feedback in this regard, and then we can probably take it up in the coming days. We'll keep you all guys informed. We are all connected together, obviously in the WhatsApp group as well. We'll keep you posted about our forthcoming courses and discussions. So, with this, I hereby thank everyone who has been with us on this wonderful journey, especially my colleagues Anshika, Kunal, and Dr. Sanchika. And thank you so much for being with us, dear participants, and my esteemed guest speakers. All right, so this completes the course, and just for everybody's information, people who have attended at least 4 sessions out of 6 will be awarded the certificates. The certificates will be sent to you on your respective email IDs from which you have registered. So probably in a week's time, we'll announce that we have issued the certificates. All right, so that marks the end of today's today's session, and as well as the entire course. Thank you, Dr. Dilip sir, for taking out time, and thank you, dear participants. All right,
Thank you all. Thanks so very much.
thank you.
Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to learn new things. Keep on adding, and we keep on spreading awareness among the masses also. Thank you.
Well, I'm hopeful that all the people who have attended this today will become sort of brand master, but will be propagated much further and further down the line.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So that
Every session, sir, I must say, has been an eye opener for most of us. We even as public health professionals, we never knew of all these intricacies and details and updates. Only an expert can really understand what is going on in the field. You're talking about Dublin, talking about the strips, that's something that an expert clearly observes and collates that information and gives it to us. So thank you so much, and we'll be sure to continue this learning journey in the coming sessions as well.
I want to know the YouTube link you have given once in the beginning. That will be, every time it changes, or
Ma'am,
it
it's
will
the
be.
same link. It's the same link, and we'll be sharing it again. And right, you have pointed out rightly, we'll be promoting it in the social media as well. We have made a YouTube.
We have that, but I was thinking that each episode will have a separate, or the same will continue.
That's the channel, and every episode that is being recorded here today is being uploaded in that channel.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, Kunal, can you shed more light on this?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Dr. Shekhar also. We have our YouTube channel. We are going to upload all the upcoming sessions and their recordings there in the separate playlists. For this understanding e-cigarette course, we have a different playlist we have created on the YouTube channel. You can all visit there and check in the playlist section the Understanding E-Cigarettes and Its Harmful Impacts playlist. There in that playlist, we have the complete series of all these 6 sessions,
Right.
recorded 6 sessions.
Good. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So that's it for today. Thank you, everyone. Have a very good evening. We're going to end the session now. Bye bye. Thank you, sir.
thank you very much. Thank you.